Welcome to AVLSI lecture number 34 part 1 and 34.1. And in today's topic, we will continue our discussion on solving numericals on differential pair with MOSFET loads part 2. So we will directly jump to question number 1. So in question number 1, in the circuit of figure 34.1.1. Now, first of all, you have to identify which network is this. This is a differential amplifier with a diode connected load, correct? And the given data is as follows. W by L of 1, 2 is 50 by 0.5. W by L of 3, 4 is 50 by 1. ISS value is 1 milliampere. Okay. And they have been given what is the small signal differential gain. They are asking us to calculate what is the small signal differential gain. And for the input common mode level of 1.37, what is the maximum allowable output swing? Okay, this is similar to what we have solved before, but this is for the diode connected load. Okay, and the parameters of MOSFET, NMOS and PMOS both are given. VT and VTP, mu and mu and Cox, mu P Cox, lambda n and lambda p. All the values are given to us. Okay, so kindly take the print screen of the numerical question. Done that? Yeah. So we'll start with the solution. So here we have derived it as follows. The differential gain of a differential amplifier with a diode connected load will be given by minus of GM1 into 1 upon GM3 parallel to RO1 parallel to RO3. Okay. Now here remember M1 and M2 are symmetric and M3 and M4 are symmetric. So in place of RO1, we can write RO2 also. And in place of RO3, we can write RO4 also. It's one and the same. So again, I repeat, the differential gain, the small signal differential gain formula, we have derived it for a differential pair with a diode connected load. It is minus GM1 into 1 upon GM3 parallel to RO1 parallel to RO3. Okay, so we do the same thing. ISS value is given as 1 milliampere, correct? So ID1 and ID1 and ID2, ID3 will be equal to around ISS by 2, which will be 0.5. ID2 and ID4 will be same, again ISS by 2, which will be equal to 0.5. So here also we are denoting it that M1 and M2 are PMOS transistors and they are symmetric. So GM1 is equal to GM2, which is equal to GMN, and GM3 and GM4 are same, equal to GMP. Okay, they are symmetric. Similarly, RO1 is equal to RO2 is equal to RON, and RO3 is equal to RO4 is equal to ROP. Okay, now RO1 we can easily find. Now basically to find the small signal differential gain, we have to find GM1, GM3, RO1 and RO3. Okay, so they have given the value of RO1 as RO1 formula is 1 upon lambda 1 into ID1, correct? So lambda 1 value is available, ID1 value is available, so calculate RO1. So RO1 comes out to be 20 kilo ohms. RO1 comes out to be 20 kilo ohms. Okay. So can you calculate RO3 directly? Now there will be one huge mistake if you directly calculate lambda RO3 as it is, because here if you notice carefully, W by L, length, channel length of NMOS and PMOS is different. Okay, channel length of NMOS and PMOS is different. Normally we have to keep it same. Then only all these things will be valid. Okay. So here your lambda P value is lambda 3 value is given as 0.2 for L3 equal to 0.5 micrometer. And L1 is 0.5 micrometer, lambda 1 is 0.1. Okay. And L3 is 1 micrometer. So the channel lengths are not same. We know that lambda is proportional to your channel length, correct? So lambda 3 should be equal to 0.1 for L3 equal to 1 micrometer. Okay, it is 0.2 given for L3 equal to 0.5 micrometer in the given data. Whenever they give the data, now they give the data for the same channel length. Okay, now since the channel length is doubled, you have to halve the value of lambda 3. So lambda 3, while substituting, you have to substitute 0.1. Did you get the point? Yeah. This is done to make the, for the given channel length of 1 micrometer. So for that, the lambda will be 0.1 and R01 and R03 will be 20 kiloohms. Did you understand this point? Okay. Next is we calculate GM1 and GM3. So GM1 is straightforward. Um, Square root of twice mu and Cox W by L of 1 into ID1. So mu and Cox value is given. W by L is 100. ID1 is 1 milli. I mean 0.5 milliamperes. So calculate GM1 and let me know what's the answer. GM1 value. You have to just plug in the values in your calculator. And let me know the value of GM1, then GM3, and then finally small signal voltage gain. Okay, I think here there might be. Acha, you calculate it. I'll correct the diagram. It's actually a diode connected MOSFET. So I shouldn't use the diagram for current source MOSFET. Yeah. So let me add it over here properly. Yeah. So is GM3 coming out to be 3.66? Again, same as last time. 3.6637 milliampere per volt. Yes or no? Hello.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
all
Yes.
getting? Okay. GM1 is 3.66. GM3, how much it is? It's 1.3847 milliampere per volt. GM3 is twice mu. Actually, it should be mu P. Okay. While I think it should be mu P. Where it is calculated, it should be 1.3847. P should come over there, not N. Okay. Yeah. Twice mu P Cox W by L of 3 into ID3. So please check whether it is 1.3847. Till then I'll copy the correct. How much it is? Is it this value which you see in the front of your screens? GM3 is how much? 1.3847 milliampere per volt. Is it same? Okay, you all are calculating still. Remember W by L of 3 is 50, not 100. ID3 is 0.5 milliamperes and mu P Cox is 38.35 into 10 raised to minus 6. So GM3, please confirm this value so that I can proceed. Is it 1.3847 milliampere per volt? Yes. And what is 1 upon GM3? 722.2 ohms. So once you get the value of GM3, please substitute in this formula and AD will be minus GM1, which is 3.66 milli into 1 upon GM3, which is 722 parallel to 20, parallel to 20. So 20 parallel to 20 will be 10K. Okay. So differential gain will be minus 3.66 milli into 722 parallel to 10K. So the result will be lesser than 722 ohms. So please tell me the value of differential gain, what value you get in your calculator for this scenario. Plug in the values in calculator and calculate small signal differential gain for the given amplifier, differential amplifier. How much is the value? Please cross check whether you're getting 2.4677. Hello. Can you please cross check this value? Are you all getting small signal voltage gain as 2.4677?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Next, what we need to find out is they have given the input common mode level as 1.37, and we have to find out maximum allowable output voltage swing. So we have to find out V out minimum and V out maximum, and then we have to find out twice of V out max minus V out minimum, similar to what we have done last time. So here in this case, there is some, this thing that your V out minimum will be maximum of V in CM minus VTN, comma, VDD minus VSG3, whenever we say that ID3 will be equal to ISS. This is the special condition. Okay. If this condition is satisfied, then only your V out minimum will be calculated properly. So V out of minimum will be V in CM minus VTN. Okay. And V in CM is how much? 1.37. And VTN's value is 0.7. So your V out of 1 or 2, I mean V out 1 or V out 2 will be 0.65 volt. Okay, basically your M1 transistor enters into triad region under this condition. V out minimum value of 1 and 2 will be V in of CM, input common mode voltage minus VTN. And next we have to calculate the value of VSG3. Okay, so we found out the value of Vn of CM minus VTN, but we have to find out VSG3 minus mod of VT3, which is equal to twice ID3 divided by mu P Cox W by L of 3. So if you find out that overdrive voltage for empty transistor, that will be 1.02 volt. So from your VSG3 will be 1.82. Why? Because mod of VTH3 is zero point 0.8. So VSG3 will be 1.82. Please confirm this number. Yeah. Remember your ID3 will be ISS under this special condition only. ID3 will be ISS only for this condition. So your V out minimum will be maximum of either V in of CM minus VTHN or VDD minus VSG3. So in this case, your M1 might enter into triode. So all the current will be flown through ID3 only. So we have to find out, we have found out V in of CM minus VTN, which is 0.67. And now we are finding out VDD minus VSG3. So now all of the ISS go through M3 transistor. So V out of 1, comma 2 minimum value will be VDD minus VSG3. And that value is 1.18. Okay, correct? And so your, but V out minimum will be maximum of these two values. So we got it as 0.67 and 1.18. So we select 1.18. Fine. Next, we have to calculate. Any doubt in this? Only for diode connected load it is so, not for the current source load. Now, the maximum value of V out of 1, comma 2 will be VDD minus mod of VTP. Okay, it will be VDD minus mod of VTP. Why it is for diode connected load? Because in the diode connected load, your VGSP and your VSGP and your VSDP is one and the same. Drain and gate terminal are one and the same, na? So your VD, we can say VSG3 or VSD3 are one and the same. That's why we have mod of VTP only over here. Okay, and that value will be 3 minus 0.8 will be 2.2. So we have V out minimum and V out maximum value. So your maximum swing will be twice of V max, V out max minus V out minimum. which will be twice of 2.2 minus 1.18, which will be 2.04 volt. Okay, so this is how you find the maximum swing at the output for a differential amplifier with a diode connected load. Everyone has reached this step? Yeah? Can we start with the second numerical, or you all want some time to write this down?
You can start, sir.
Okay, fine. So second case, exactly the same data. Exactly the same data is given as numerical number 1. So most of the things will be common. Only thing is, instead of having a diode connected load, we have a PMOS current source load. So I will tell you not to write it down. Not to solve this. You can solve this. I will be providing you with this PDF. Okay. So here again, we have to find out small signal differential voltage gain, and again the maximum output allowable voltage swing. The parameters are same. Everything is same. Only instead of diode connected load, we have PMOS current source load. And we know the formula. We have solved this before. Differential gain will be minus GM1 into RO1 parallel to RO2, correct? And here we calculate RO1 and RO2. Remember, for RO2, RO3, RO1 and RO3, remember again the same concept will be used. Lambda 3 is 0.2 for L3 as 0.5 micrometer, but they have given 1 micrometer. So lambda 3 will be 0.1. Only this care you have to take. Rest everything is similar. So RO1, RO3 will be 20K. Then GM1 is 3.6637, which you have got before. Then you calculate the differential gain, which will come out to be 3.6637 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 20K parallel to 20K. So 20K parallel to 20K will be 10K. So 10K into 3.66 will be 36.3637 value, the differential voltage gain. And now they are asking us to find the V out minimum and V out maximum, the output peak to peak value. So V out minimum will be V in of CM minus VTHN, which will be 0.67. And V out max will be VDD minus VSG3 minus mod of VTP. We have solved this last time, correct? In the lecture 32.3, I guess, right? So here we find out VGS3 minus mod of VTP, which is the overdrive voltage for empty transistor, which comes out to be 0.72. So you can calculate it later and find out the answers. Right now, I am directly telling you the overdrive voltage is coming out to be 0.72. Then your V out maximum will be VDD minus VSG3 minus mod of VTP, which will be 3 volt minus 0.72, which will be 2.28. And therefore, the final maximum swing at the output will be twice of V out max minus V out minimum, which will be 3.22. Okay, so exactly similar steps we have followed for the differential amplifier with a current source load. I hope you will solve this numerical on your own, and you can confirm these answers later after you solve it. Okay, so the value of RO1, RO2 is 20K, GM1 is 3.6637, AD is minus 36.367, V out minimum value is 0.67, V out maximum value is how much? 2.28, and your maximum output swing at the maximum swing at the output is 3.22 volt. So please cross check these answers and solve this numerical on your own. It's just a revision. Okay, so with this, that is all for this session. That is all for AVLSI session number 34.1. So next time we will start with a telescopic cascode differential amplifier. Okay, so until then, have a good day and thank you.